Long before the kingdoms of men rose from dust, there existed a shimmering fabric that separated two realms, the mortal lands and Eternalis, a domain of magic. The fabric was called the Veil. Legends whispered that should the veil shatter, both worlds would bleed into one another, light and shadow clashing until neither survived. In the quiet fishing village of Orendale, no one believed those tales anymore, except a girl who dreamed of strange stars. Selara Valen, 19, had always felt the world was tilted slightly wrong. She would wake in the night to see glowing symbols flicker across her window or hear voices in languages she had never learned. Her mother dismissed it as imagination, but Selara knew better. One mist late evening, while walking along the cliffside, she saw something impossible. A fissure of light hung in midair, like a curtain made of liquid starlight. From inside it, a man stumbled out, tall, cloaked, his armor fractured as if it had survived fire. His eyes shone molten silver. Before collapsing at her feet, he whispered, "The veil is breaking, and you are the key." The stranger's name was Kalen Dre, a guardian from Eternalis. His duty had been to guard the ether shard, a relic that anchored the veil. But shadows had breached his citadel, and the shard had fractured. Half remained in his world, the other half had drifted through the rupture and embedded itself somewhere in Orendale. Selara was skeptical, yet when she touched the pendant Kalen carried, it flared to life in her hands. Symbols carved themselves into her skin, glowing softly, like a birthmark finally awakening. "You carry the resonance," Kalen told her. "Without you, the veil cannot be mended." Against reason, Selara agreed to help. Together they traveled into the Blackwood forest beyond Orendale. The air grew colder, the trees bent unnaturally as if eavesdropping. It was here that Selara faced her first horror, a hollow wraith, a shape of smoke and bone whose voice mimicked her own. Kalen fought with a blade of shimmering crystal, but the wraith nearly consumed him. Instinct surged in Selara. She raised her palm, and the glowing symbols seared the air. A blast of silver light scattered the creature into ash. Kalen stared at her, astonished. "You are no ordinary mortal," he said. "The shard has chosen you." Storms spread across Orendale, crops withered overnight, fishermen vanished at sea. The veil's fractures were worsening, and time was slipping away. Kalen explained the only way to restore balance was to reunite both halves of the ether shard at the Sanctum of Threads, hidden in Eternalis. But first, they had to recover the lost half in Selara's realm. Guided by dreams, Selara led Kalen to the ruined catacombs beneath Orendale's old chapel. There, within a coffin sealed in salt, pulsed the shard fragment. But as they lifted it, shadows poured from the walls, whispering like 100 hungry mouths. They escaped bruised and terrified but alive. The shard now glowed in Selara's hands, brighter than any flame. At the cliff where they had first met, the fissure reopened. Kalen held her hand. "Once we cross, you will never see your world the same again," he warned. "I already don't," Selara replied. They stepped through into Eternalis. Eternalis unfurled before them, skies alive with floating constellations, rivers of liquid light winding through forests of crystal trees. Yet ruins scarred the land, and creatures of darkness stalked the horizon. Here, Kalen introduced her to his fellow guardians, Leora, fierce and sharp-tongued, and Dareth, quiet as stone. Both were skeptical. "A mortal girl?" Leora scoffed. "The fate of two realms rests on her?" But when Selara held up the shard, even Leora fell silent. Their path to the sanctum led through the obsidian veil, where the sky bled red and the ground cracked under invisible weight. It was there that the Shadow Sovereign revealed itself, a colossal figure of shifting void crowned in smoke. Its voice reverberated like thunder. "The veil must die," it declared. "Only through collapse will freedom come." The Sovereign unleashed legions of wraiths. Kalen and the Guardians fought desperately. Selara, clutching the shard, realized the truth. The Sovereign was not trying to destroy her, it was trying to claim her, to twist the resonance inside her into a weapon. She resisted. Every step forward felt like drowning, but she pressed toward the sanctum. The sanctum was a cathedral of light suspended above a chasm of stars. Golden strands of the veil wove through the air, fraying at the edges. Selara placed both shard halves on the altar. The ground shook. The shard refused to fuse, not without a living conduit. Kalen shouted, "It needs you, Selara. Your life force." She understood then. To mend the veil, she must pour her own essence into it, binding herself forever between both worlds. For a heartbeat, fear swallowed her. She thought of her mother, her village, the life she would never return to. Then she looked at Kalen, battered, bleeding, but standing unbroken, and knew her choice. She pressed her hands to the shards. Light erupted. Her voice joined the song of the veil. When Selara awoke, the world was quiet. The shard had fused, glowing within the sanctum like a newborn star. The sovereign was gone, banished beyond the fabric. But Selara was changed. Her veins shimmered faintly with silver light. She was no longer fully mortal, nor fully eternal. She was the Veilkeeper. Kaylin knelt beside her. You gave everything, yet you remain. I am not the same girl who walked the cliffs, she whispered. But maybe I am something more. Outside the sanctum, the skies of Eternalis cleared. And far away, in Morindale, fishermen returned, crops regrew, storms ceased. The worlds had steadied. Selara chose to walk between both realms. By day, she returned to Orindale, healing and guiding her people with newfound gifts. By night, she crossed into Eternalis with Kaylin, rebuilding what had been lost. The veil was no longer a barrier, it was a bridge, and Selara was its living thread. And when the stars shimmered brighter than usual, people whispered of a girl who had bound light and shadow, love and sacrifice, into a single eternal flame.